And welcome back to the Full Court Blitz, final blitz at the buzzer. We are going to go over the segment of our show where we discuss trending topics, and that's tough or that's enough. Is it tough? Do we like it, or is that enough? Number one, Texas has its first number one preseason AP ranking in school history. That was hard for me to believe when I read that because of all of the good football teams at Texas, but it is. Is Texas all they say they are? And fans are calling it arch madness. Is that tough, Alex, or is that enough?
I think that's tough. I'm buying into the arch hype. He has the legacy. Peyton Manning, Eli Manning being his uncles, Archie Manning being his grandfather. Steve Sarkisian is the offensive mind there. He's probably the best offensive mind in college football right now, alongside Lane Kiffin. Crazy that they were both offensive coordinators at Alabama. Great times.
Insane.
He has tons of weapons around him. I can go down the list of running backs: Wisner, C.J. Baxter, receivers: Khalil Lockett. There's just so many weapons he has around him. The offensive line is the big issue for Arch Manning. You lose your bookends and Kelvin Banks and Cameron Williams, your left and right tackle.
Yeah,
they have to replace
Banks
those.
Was one of the best offensive tackles I've watched.
Yeah, and you lose the offensive guard Hayden Connor, so you replace 3 starters from last year. But when you have the transfer portal, you can do anything nowadays. The defense, you lose 2 DBs in Jade Barron and Andrew Makuba. 2 huge losses. Barron won the Jim Thorpe Award for the best defensive back last year. But again, you reload the transfer portal. You also return guys in Malik Muhammad and Michael Taffy who are super talented at those positions. And you also return some guys in Anthony Hill Jr. and Colin Simmons who could easily be Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC and the country.
Yeah, I really like Colin Simmons. He was explosive last year. Texas's defense is just probably as good as their offense, if not maybe a little better, I would say, as far as ratings. Second topic, Tom Brady on NIL, one of the best quarterbacks ever, says, teach your kids the right values. It should be the parent, be a good parent, teach your kids the right values, what's going to sustain them in their career over a period of time, be it football, business, or whether it's teaching, law school, medical school, or a trade, whatever you want to do, you're going to have to go through hard things in life. You're going to have to make tough choices. The value isn't always about the last dollar. Now, NIL is a continuing topic of discussion. I think everyone agrees that players getting paid for their likeness is probably okay, but it just needs to be scaled back. I think that's the common thing for most folks. Me and you have not discussed NIL, so this will be a great time. This quote from one of the greatest athletes and QBs ever, is that tough, or have you heard enough?
That's tough. I agree with what Tom Brady said. Too many people nowadays just value that dollar. Where can I make that? Where can I make that money? And especially in the landscape of college sports, it's who's paying me the most, not where can I be the best athlete. Where can I grow as an athlete? It's, does Tulane pay me $2 million, or does Tennessee pay me $2 million? Does Georgia upgrade that to $4 million? It's not, well, if I go to Georgia, I get to learn under Kirby Smart as a defensive back, and he's one of the best defensive-minded head coaches in college football. I'm a quarterback. I get to go to Texas. I learn under Steve Sarkisian, who I talked about is the best offensive mind in college football. Or do I go get that extra $2 million and go play for Texas State? Not to take anything away from Texas State, but going from Steve Sarkisian to Texas State, what's your NFL looking like? What's that looking like for the future? Is it worth taking the extra $2 million and forfeiting the countless endorsements, the contract you get as a first-round pick or second-round pick? Is it worth forfeiting that to make that extra $2 million, that quick buck right then? And that's what not only athletes but just regular people are stuck on nowadays, is where can I make that next quick buck? Absolutely. Where can I make that extra $200?
Yeah, and you're right on the money. I think it's tough as well from Tom. Another thing to go along with that is that the money aside, like I've seen NFL players who have experienced NIL when they get drafted and they'll post on their Instagrams, "Mama, we made it." What did you make it from? You were making $5 million in college. I don't understand that. Last topic, Jerod Mayo says, look, once those guys cross the white lines, there's nothing I can do for them or any coach can do for them once they cross the white line. I get the concept of what Jerod Mayo is saying, but, I mean, how are you going to say there's nothing you can do for your team? The best coaches make sideline and game adjustments. There's a reason you see certain coaches flourish and others bottom out, and it's called involvement and effort. And consistent effort is always a good thing. I know the roster wasn't the best in New England for Jerod Mayo.
That's an understatement.
I get it, but the comment to me really would have ticked me off as a player to have a coach with that mentality, I think. But maybe that's why he was a great player and not a great coach. So you look at Mike Vrabel, wasn't there a week, and he's already getting into fights, breaking them up at the practice games.
Yeah.
I love Mike Vrabel. Alex, is Jerod Mayo's comments tough, or is that enough?
That's enough. He just needs to be quiet and worry about getting another coaching job wherever that might be. Coaches make decisions throughout the game that impact the game. When I was doing some prep for this show, and when you showed me this quote, I thought about two things right off the top of my head. Was Nick Saban's onside kick in the 2016 national championship against Clemson in the fourth quarter with 2:34 to go.
Yeah.
He made that decision. The players didn't make that decision. Nick Saban made that decision and said, this is the game-changing moment.
Yep.
I'm putting it on the line right here.
Yep.
And then on the flip side, I think about Kirby's fake punt attempt with Justin Fields in the 2018 SEC championship, where he was trying to do something funny and trying to get that first down, but it just blundered him, and they really could never recover in that game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coaching does absolutely happen in the game. I don't know what Jerod Mayo is saying. Maybe he should just enjoy his player money. That's tougher. That's enough.